Get the job done. Top 32 begins right now as we make our way to Apocalypse, the end of days for one of these two teams. Winner side run.
All right, and starting off already, you can see Snowy with that cannon. We've seen him champion that weapon for so long and get so much damage, so many conversions, support his teammate so well, and we're seeing that play out here to full effect.
Duke was mentioning earlier the Zonix core now with the loss of the Chronic combo with Cross going away. Zariel made a very big just move last year being piloted by Fozy. Now everybody coming in here, of course, Devil Jin crossover looking that much cooler too. But being able to play around that, Vecinaa and Yuz got quite a bit of work to do.
Yeah, and this is a strange team here, right? You don't get to see Sidra very often. Granted, Vecinaa always pretty much piloting that Sidra. But on the other side, we do have Yuz again rocking that greatsword. He has said in the past at the Winter Royale, I believe, that he doesn't like playing the weapon on LAN because he feels like it just doesn't feel as good. Yet here, we're watching this Arcadia in full effect, and so far, they have a lead.
When you talk about setup 6, that's what you get out of Arcadia in this match, especially being backed up by someone like Sidra. You get caught, you're losing that stock, and that's what we saw happen to Luna and Snowy pretty quick off the rip, but they do both have pretty damaged health on the blue team, so it won't be too long before that goes away.
The scary part about this team composition is, like, yes, you get a lot of good damage on stray hits, but you're not going to see much in terms of team combos coming out from a greatsword and a cannon. The greatsword in general just doesn't have a whole lot of true combos to begin with, so you're going to see Yuz go for a lot of side light, D-light, end light, D-light, some strings that can be guaranteed in specific scenarios, but you get caught once by Luna and Snowy, and that might be a team combo leading to the loss of a stock.
It's all about positioning to line up for the other one, but Luna perfectly positioned on the edge to finally sneak one out there. You can never get too comfortable with the lead against Luna and Snowy either, because like Snowy put perfectly, they are an explosive team. You could be up a full stock count, white health be fine, and then things disappear, except this time it was also the red team again, as they're currently down to last stock, and Vecinaa refuses to give up the first one.
Yeah, I mean, Taza was saying all day today that he is absolutely, oh my goodness, hold on, we almost got destruction from Vecinaa, but a nice turnaround from Luna with that reverse down here into the stage to secure that stock. South America has been going absolutely wild all year, and Taza has been making it a point to hammer in that he expects by the end, by Sunday's end, at least the vast majority of the teams are going to be from SA.
I think it's hard to not agree with that statement. As we saw, that was a 4-piece string that just continued pressure off stage, and the reward on hit is nuts. Right now, Snowy is removed from the game. They're behind 2 full stocks. You take one side light off of that Spirit, you're probably getting carried, but Luna is one of those people who can make things happen. That is one. Can he maybe sneak this other one against Yuz? It's got some work to do. Weapon toss down is going to make it happen, so he's pushing down to last stocks.
Still got a lot of work to do here, though. You're in the red already. Vecinaa hits you with one D-light. That could be your stock, and of course, you know, if Yuz gets a weapon here, you throw down that trap. That's going to be your stock as well. We'll see if Luna can clutch, but it's going to be a hard one, especially against some of the best players in South America. The neutral Sig, release the Kraken, is going to go ahead and secure that game 1.
It's so hard to get around that. You see that he's hanging out right around full jump distance from ledge. You're either getting covered by neutral Sig, you're going to get covered by a jump in there. It doesn't matter. You're going to get pushed back towards the opposing teammate. Yuz was hanging out the whole time on the right. Like, look, if you make a mistake early, I'm catching this there. But he never got it. Doesn't matter, though, because Vecinaa backed it up, pretty much creating a near checkmate scenario for Luna over there on the right.
And I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit worried watching that game 1 because I feel like for a team like Luna and Snowy, there's a lot of pressure on them, admittedly, coming into this BCX. But I think everyone kind of has it in their minds that, like, yeah, this team is going to get far. And yeah, we're in top 32, so they've made it decently far already. But at this point, I mean, geez, like, look at the stats. Talk about that a little bit.
The damage average between the two was quite literally double. There was 522 and 557 sported by the blue team, but not even cracking 400. On the other side, talk about Snowy being eliminated early. He only did 241 damage. You can't have that happen when you are the setup tool rocking the cannon. It looks like we might maybe see a switch here, though, from the two of them. Do we see the return? Actually, it looks like Snowy might be the one on the Tyros here, maybe. But trying to change things up, Flambeau, I think they need it.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's like that game 1 didn't go as smooth as it possibly could have, right? And it takes a real seasoned competitor to know off of a game 1 that like a character swap is necessary. We may not see one, that we'll see if they decide to stick with it, but I do feel like, you know, Arcadia and
how do you prep for that?
It's not like it's such a team that you don't run into often that you're not going to have an answer prepared right out the gate.
That's not a matchup you're seeing show up. Everybody's seeing the Zonics now because it's just such a dominant core. It kind of gives the same feel of Cross where you get a lot of setup sigs. You also get a good amount of range backed up behind the bow. But everybody's seeing it. You're used to it. You're getting practice in for it. Nobody's prepped going up against Sidra and Arcadia because you're just not seeing that team show up. And it does look like we're going to lock in back into that same lineup. I like that. Luna and Snowy are a dominant core for good reason. You can't let a game like that get to you. It's a best of 5. You got plenty of time to learn.
And one thing about being a player, or being players, excuse me, as seasoned as these guys, is that you've been in this situation before.
3,
You've lost
2,
to game 1, and I've seen both of these players individually and in twos have a pretty tough game 1 loss and then come back game 2 and immediately get that dub. So we're going to figure out if that's what's going to happen here as we go to game 2 on Miami Dome.
Looks like landing options are the thing here. Felt like they didn't have great, consistent landing choices, so now with the higher soft platforms, they can navigate around a couple bad spots of disadvantage. But that matters only if you avoid things like that GC neutral shake off stage. Vecinaa was looking for a really early one.
And one thing that I do like is the fact that Yuz is on Arcadia instead of Jae Yun. Normally, when playing the Great Sword, that is the legend of choice. But saying here that Spear is going to offer a lot more in terms of team conversions in this setup.
I like the D6 too because they cover, they lock you in place. They're always ready for you to get a follow-up. And Yuz is perfectly fine with being the setup player because it's about the W at the end of the day. But the red team does get 1, they get 2. They make sure we take our attention back to North America.
Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate one there as Vecinaa ends up hitting Yuz with that sider on the cannon and getting a friendly fire stock there, putting them a bit behind, but they're not trailing by too much. I'm sure if they're able to find one opening, that down sig, sit down, class is in session, is able to go ahead and secure 1 stock, but can they get more?
Humility is a thing that you get caught quite a bit on when you decide to recover high there from that D-Sig, and that's exactly how it played out because we saw Snowy fall not that too much longer after. Like you said before, the defense of South America is incredible, but the big plays from Red Team are what they need as we're seeing a quick 4-piece come in, starting to wake up a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, Snowy said it himself best right before in the interview, before hopping into the set, saying, me and Luna are quite the explosive team, so I wouldn't be surprised at any moment in this game if they just suddenly get one really quick conversion that turns the tide of battle. But so far, Yuz and Vecinaa doing a great job of keeping in it, but trailing behind a little bit in terms of damage.
And they're breaking up that whole situation on the right. We're going to get 1 recovery KO off the top. Can we close out another one? Luna looking pretty healthy. The red team does not want to eat any of these dares off the side. Ground pound would take it too. Tries to catch the wall volley there, just misses.
And the tough part about this is like Luna is one of those players who is so willing to just let a signature rip and speak of the frickin' devil. That's the perfect conversion that the red team needed there to go ahead and secure themselves a very slight but impactful lead in this game.
This is why Zariel started to show up so much more. Arcadia gives a similar factor to that, but you have the setup tool with the bow plus the SIGs. That was a guaranteed 2 KO as long as Snowy doesn't drop that situation, and Luna's still holding a lead here. A borrowed time lead at that, but his defense is picking up here, Flambeau.
And Luna is pressing that SIG button. He's one of the few people that's able to just let the SIGs rip at this level and not get punished for it all too often, but also get these conversions, holding the opponents in place like Magneto with a gravity squeeze.
Yeah, got to get caught up a little bit there. He threw that weapon toss in to try and break things up for Snowy, accidentally takes the side air, so eventually you might fall. But the most important thing is they put Yuz already in the red. They're trying to chase him down over the side, but he just misses that side take. Yuz gets a free punish out of that, and Vecinaa making his way back to stage as well.
Here we go, Team South America coming down to potentially the final moments on their last stocks here. They are deep in the red, but they are still fighting. That's going to be Vecinaa falling, but Yuz sitting here trying to make the 2v1 with this Arcadia, with the spear, gets a hit there, goes for the chase dodge nair. It's not going to connect, tries to recover high. Will he get caught on the way down? The answer is yes, and a beautiful conversion from the down air on the bow off of the neutral light. That setup was clean, easy dub for Luna and Snowy. They answer back in waves.
Why game 1 is only game number 1. It's a time to adapt after. It's a best of 5 situation. You can make sure that you come back stronger each time. We saw a lot of really quick 3-0s throughout the day, of course, but now we're in that qualifier territory here in top 32. Luna and Snowy not letting it rock. They made sure they picked it back up, and they looked phenomenal there in game 2.
Yeah, no, that was definitely, I mean, I think the pick of going to Miami Dome kind of like, I think they did better on that stage overall, right? The platforms, as you were mentioning earlier, definitely attribute to making things a bit easier to navigate. I'm wondering where we're going to end up going for game 3 now, because now you have a little bit more data to work with, right? Okay, we had these platforms. This is kind of what the result was. Are we going to go back to an apocalypse-type map? Maybe we see the Fortress of Lion.
That's where I'm thinking, too. I think that we try to go back to single plat because they don't want them to have that type of landing recovery they had. They were able to navigate around. For one, if you have 2 platforms, Greatsword's not as scary. You don't have to dealing with the bridges because they have to jump at you. I'd rather take an aerial any day of the week than dealing with the bridges. That looked much better for them. But when you have 1 platform, you can't navigate around it as much. But if I'm also sacking Vecinaa, using Vecinaa, I don't really want to give them something like Demon Island because that team core with Cannon, way too strong, especially with Zariel on that small side of the stage.
Yeah.
So I think we stay away from Demon Island.
You get hit by a bow ground pound over there, and you are done skis, bro. There is no way you're making it back from there. You can even see the competitors taking a little bit of a moment to think about what the play is going to be going into the next game, saying, oh, we really want to make sure we weigh all of our options and make the most informed, educational decision that we can make because we're at wit's end at this point, you know?
Not gonna lie, Snowy kind of looking like a Capcom DLC character.
No, for real,
like with the hoodie up and everything there, he looked like the next drop over in Street Fighter. Well, maybe he'll drop in Brawlhalla one day, who knows what. Right now, we're going to get into the next match. You talk about that pause. I think one of the best things about South America is that they're very stoic. You don't really see a lot of, like, anger and emotion. It's like, okay, I lost. Why did I lose? What can we do better? We're always ready to go, though, because their competitive nature is just through the roof at the top end, and that's why so many of them out here, we all predict to potentially win the whole thing.
It's true. It's really funny. They are stoic. They either have no expression or they're laughing at you. Those are the only 2 things you often see from South America, but here we go into Game 3 already. Snowy and Luna trying their best here to see if they can keep that momentum going. Slight damage lead as Yuz and Vecinaa are trying to find their way back down to the ground. Yuz can't get much going with this greatsword.
And our anticipation on what the stage would be is a single plat, but we are back at APOC, but a very different start compared to that last match. Even though greatsword is available with a full stage, you don't have much that has begun so far, and Vecinaa got jumped, so they were not able to answer back.
Yeah, and the greatsword is just such a weird weapon to use in 2s because you saw right there, he got a pass, he got the side light, tried to go for the D-light because that was the closest thing he could get to a true combo, and it didn't convert. Any other weapon, I won't say any other weapon, but most other weapons in the game are able to get a lot more off of a pass like that, so it's hard to weigh those checks and balances, but even with that said, no save on Yuz.
No, he went down there, he got the ground pound he needed on Luna, but he just barely missed that sword recovery to get the save on Yuz, which would have kept them at 3 stocks, but they're not going to get rid of Snowy. They almost evened it right back up.
And you can even see, like, when they're doing these double corner guard situations, they allow Yuz to take point. He puts down that down signature, that, like, flower trap, if you will, and then you just see Vecinaa wait in the back with that sword saying, if they try to get past it somehow, I'm going to down them.
Yep. And that's the danger of that at all times, because you don't want to get locked down there. If you get caught up in that, that's a free punish for Vecinaa. Yes. And we talked about before, Sidra will KO you in any one of those positions. But Vecinaa ready to be KO'd himself, but they did answer back. Look how much damage is already on Luna. Luna, however, gets his way through. Snowy wasn't capable of going on there for the ground pound because he already committed to the jump, but if he was ready, that would have been a KO.
Yeah, 100%. Was so in position, but couldn't quite find the mark there. And now we're at a point where it's like, I mean, the patience from Snowy just does a little bit of a stutter step back and forth and says, I know when you're coming. Hits that end light and secures that knockout with relative ease. And Vecinaa, though, answering back saying, listen, these down 6, I will let them rip, bro. Don't test me. I'm going to let it fly.
It can absolutely happen to you at any given point in time. And right now, Snowy trying to get as much mileage as he can out of stock because he's been taking minimal damage here in this game number 3. Vecinaa trying so hard to hold on to that stock, holding center as much as possible, but you challenge him too much. You make one mistake around that cannon, you take that side air, you get carried off the stage. That's why they're being careful about approaching him.
This is going to be a tough one for Yuz, trying to get back, burns that dodge, uses the recovery to go high and get around the hitboxes of the red team, but now just trying to find some semblance of bearing. Snowy still has 2 stocks. Vecinaa smacking him off stage, goes for the reverse slide charge, neutral sig. I'm out. Oh,
hey, you know got it, bro. It took the 3rd time for it to work. Vecinaa kept hunting for it, but that time it was a reversal. That actually worked out really well. And can they get Luna right now? Oh, misses out after the go for the ground pound. That's going to push Vecinaa back down, but he gets back on onto stage. Everybody walks away somehow scot-free.
Apparently, hold on, that weapon throw from Vecinaa almost leading to something. Luna gets a 1v1 opportunity with Yuz, and that might just be it. No one's there to help him, and that's gonna be Yuz falling. Vecinaa soon to fall after here. Probably a ground pound from Luna. No, Vecinaa gets the touch. He's back on the stage. He has a chance to make the 2v1 happen. Will he be able to make the impossible possible?
This very much still could happen. Vecinaa may be in the red, but so is Luna. So you see Luna has to hover around center, but Snowy catching him, that championship mentality, not gonna let you get to his partner, and they go up in the set.
He got hit by the Brawlhalla shimmy, bro, with the way he stepped back on that unarmed side air. He knew you were about to do that, bro. That was unfortunate for Team South America, but Snowy and Luna cooking a little bit toward the end of that one. I don't know what game 4 is gonna look like.
Important factor about that too. Snowy was smiling a ton. He's having fun up there. If Luna and Snowy are having fun, you end up on the dev stream highlight reel. That is not a good time for anybody, so they need to pick it up with what we've seen out of that defense, but they are not having that right now. They're trying to send one of the many South American top talent teams down to Olymps.
And granted, at this point, right, like, we say all that, but that last game did come down to a situation where, oh my gosh, 611 damage done by Snowy?
Like, what a difference. Game 1, he put up 200.
Call him Avalanche now, buddy.
The ball is rolling, and you better be able to stop it. It's not looking like it, though, because everybody's getting knocked over, and unfortunately for them, much like the Avalanche, they're stuck. Yeah. They haven't been able to figure out how to adapt past that. Even going back to APOC, where they won game 1, it was not looking that much different than the Miami Dome game.
Hopefully, this game 4 is what South America needs to really say, okay, yeah, y'all did it. We're going right back to APOC. So they think we can do what you did, but better, bro. And so I'm like, all right, I mean, that's really some South American pride for real, because that's the way they be squaring up down there. But so far, already a pretty decent start. I mean, I see Yuz using this great sword to great avail here, but then the interrupt from Luna on this double gym, bro. He's here to play.
Yeah, and Snowy trying to get an opportunity to play himself. Does get a reversal on the Yuz. Yuz is actually going to fall so early. That was only 20 seconds into the match, and Yuz is already knocked out, and Vecinaa getting ready to join him.
Yeah, no, they are absolutely dealing massive amounts of damage to Yuz and Vecinaa here. Now they're just trying to answer back. They decided, hey, you know what, let's run it back to APOC, and I feel like they may already be regretting their decision.
It's looking like you needed to change the scenery. You need to change the game plan as well. It has been a pretty consistent duo they've had, but they have not been able to beat the Zonics over the last few. That's Vecinaa. You saw Yuz tried to break it up, going in there with the end light, but it was too far away, and they are both down a stock, but they at least answer back against Snowy.
Yeah, I love that side to coming out from Yuz, and then the setup, team perfect corner guard coming out from Vecinaa and Yuz. They're saying, hold on. I know they started off with some sauce, but let me tell you something. I'll be cooking up something a little bit different in the kitchen, throw a little bit arroz con pollo on there, you know.
Look, you breathe that one in, and then you take a deep breath out, because that was a moment of reprieve that they needed right there.
Yes.
And also, you got me really hungry talking about that. But it's looking good. They looked a lot better, but Yuz, after that really early stock, he's going to be pretty damaged. As it's happening again, they're jumping him, but Luna's also getting jumped over by the cannon on the right, continuing the MP stuff. His damage has skyrocketed over the last 10 seconds.
Goodness, but Luna is mashing that zig button, bro, and they are not able to stop him. There he goes again. That time actually manages to get interrupted, but now he has made the threat so loud that Team South America cannot ignore it. And even Snowy's getting a little bit on the fun. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a sig too. Finds that sidelight recovery, manages to remove that stock from Yuz, as well as he gets sent down to his final stock.
That was so disgusting. Watching Snowy move around the platform to force the early jumps and the dodge, waiting for it. Luna never needed to commit, and as soon as he saw the dodge burn, free recovery from the bow. They made sure that when Vecinaa lost patience and he had to press, they finally pressed. That's how good their pressure has been so far.
But I love the save that we saw there from Luna as well onto Snowy. Vecinaa and Yuz are just trying to remain relevant. Yuz might throw out some of those neutral sticks, so you can see Snowy is hovering a lot on that platform, and that Arcadia neutral stick is really good at hitting someone who's right above you. But now it can be tough just trying to land. He goes for the end light finisher. Doesn't go for any bridge. Says, I need the stock gone, and manages to pick one up, but there's still much more to be played.
Something he did do was actually finish one of those stocks while still being in a detriment of position. He was in the red for a while. He got it to the point where now Yuz and Luna, Vecinaa was able to take out Snowy, and then Luna to follow shortly. now, even though Yuz is pretty damaged, this is a much closer game than it was just a little while ago.
And this is scary because Yuz has the great sword here, and he gets caught by this Sig, and it's enough to KO. That means Vecinaa has to do it all by his lonesome. No other chances here. Already down 2 games in the set. Can this Sidra do the impossible?
Well, he was a little bit behind last game, but he has picked it up a ton this game, so there's still very much a possibility he can do it. He just needs to catch maybe one of those GC neutral Sigs off the side of stage, but he needs one of them to commit to going off there first.
Yeah, not doing a great job of avoiding the hits and dodgeball right now. His weapon throw after weapon throw keeps connecting with Vecinaa. Can't even figure out a way to get on the stage. That's a great bit of friendly fire there, but Luna immediately able to turn around and get some punishes going. Has to burn the dodge, uses that gravity cancel down Sig. They're definitely going to be scouting for it now. The side light forcing Vecinaa into the corner, still playing around it. They just can't find the final blow.
He got the reset back on stage too, so he gets a little bit more time to mess around here, and they keep hitting each other, so it hasn't happened yet. Vecinaa will fall to one good call, but they have not been able to find it.
Oh, okay, gets a hit there, needs a weapon, is very hungry, starved, needs something to spawn. There it is, they hit each other again. Vecinaa's loving it. He says, yeah, keep doing that. I need everything I can get. But Luna gets the D-Light into the neutral air, tries to set up, and all the options are expent. Very scared of the weapon throw, and that means Luna and Snowy are gonna win over Team South America.
Had to work for that one at the end there. Vecinaa put in the best effort possibly could to stay around, because that was a long amount of time on the side. But as long as you as a team don't get reckless and give up stage control for no reason and end up falling off stage. There was that one opportunity, tried to go for the D-Sig to catch him after they accidentally hit each other. That could have